Stefanos Tsitsipas to
First
serve.
career meeting between these two players. Going to be the world number 3
Ready.
to get this one underway.
Play. Love.
Couple of semi-finals in the last couple of weeks for Tsitsipas. Lost to a Pelka in Toronto. That was a rough one. Of course, Riley was playing some good tennis there, and as we know, when he's serving well and moving well, he's a tough proposition. The defeat in Cincinnati was really one that was a little tougher to take. And been up 4-1 in the third on Zverev. Good to see that one through.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like you mentioned, he's had a terrific season, right? Finals of the French Open, 48 wins on the season, but there have been some moments, right? We mentioned 6 match points last year in the third round here, and you mentioned 4-1 against Sasha Zverev in the final set. So there's still some hiccups, even though the trajectory's been amazing. There's still moments of hesitation from Tsitsipas. None bigger, of course, than being up 2-0 against world #1 Novak Djokovic in the finals of the French Open. Against most people, that would be a commanding lead, but as we've come to learn throughout his career, Novak Djokovic is never out of it, even when he's down 2-0.
Been a feeling within the Murray camp.
40-30
was suggesting that given where he's at and given his age and obviously all the wear and tear on the body, that somehow there's going to have to be a shift in the mind just to try and to take a few more risks, isn't there? And you do wonder for a player like Andy, obviously, who's achieved so much in the game, arguably one of the greatest players of all time, how difficult that must be for him to accept that Nolsey.
Extremely difficult. You know, when you've had that much success playing a certain way, I mean, it's interesting even to hear us speak now saying that Murray's the guy that's got to look for opportunities to be aggressive. It was always about his opponents trying to figure out a way to penetrate the defensive ability of Andy Murray. But as you mentioned, because of health, he's got to figure out a way to be a lot more offensive and try to keep points shorter. And also court positioning is going to have to improve a little bit.
Inside-out forehands in men's tennis, isn't it? In terms of his ability to get them all moving off the side of the court.
Yeah, we focused so much in the last couple of years on the serve +1. Tsitsipas, one of the best. After that serve, looks to dictate with the forehand.
Tsitsipas in the end, and the quality of his movement.
And that's a little vintage Murray there. Great defense with the forehand squash shot, but up quickly to the drop shot. Drives the backhand hard in the direction of Tsitsipas, challenges him to control the racket face there. Just too much pace.
This was due to be down in Australia. It was Andy at the start of the year, was good to go, did a lot of work back in December in National Tennis Centre. In London, but then contracted COVID, so was unable to go down to Australia. That was a blow.
Advantage. Tsitsipas.
Another blow, obviously, in Miami, where he was again good to go in Miami, was ready for a run, and then got to Miami a couple of days later. The body let him down again.
There's no question Andy Murray has been challenged physically. Quick look at Jamie Delgado, bottom right, his coach, and up above, an old face, Danny Valvardu.
Yeah.
Previously coached Andy Murray.
Game. Tsitsipas.
Tough
First game.
opening game. And will be.
Let's. First serve.
Service speed, because that's an
15
area that
love.
he has definitely improved over the last couple of weeks. It was a heavy first delivery.
Yeah, Nick, you showed me some interesting Hawkeye stats before the match that actually illustrated that Murray's contact point is as high as it's ever been. And that tells you that the hip is firing. He's able to go up and hit it at its apex, generate a little bit more pop, firepower on that first serve. Those are the types of shots that Murray's going to have to employ. Just use his skill, his variety. Just try to keep Tsitsipas off balance ever so slightly. The good news is Tsitsipas is not one of those returners that really kind of attacks the second serve. So Murray doesn't have to feel so much pressure if he doesn't have a high first serve percentage. Can go for a lot more on the first.
Where do you see Tsitsipas as a returner?
40
overall, obviously he's in an era with some pretty great ones. Is it an area that's getting better, the return, from Stefanos' point of view?
Yeah, I think it's getting better. I mean, obviously, I don't think he's at the top echelon of returners when you think about the great returners in the game. But as he learns to kind of move up in the court, confront the ball, which is a little bit more difficult with the one-handed backhand. A nice illustration there on the forehand side. You know, obviously with that one-handed backhand, you gotta have pretty good racket control, especially with your wrist, to offset the pace that these guys generate on the first serve. It's easy to block it back, but if you're going to try to be offensive, generally a lot easier to be offensive with a two-handed return on that backhand side.
Game Murray.
Quick court, that might be a useful serve over the course of the next couple of weeks. Time will tell.
1 game all.
That's a great open.
It's based in Surrey, just about half an hour or so from Wimbledon, but the family just relocating. And actually had a court built in his garden as well in the new house, so I know that they've had a few British players over to practice at home.
Love 15.
That's a prime example of the return that Murray is going to have to use often in this match. Up on the baseline, deny Tsitsipas time to get his feet in position.
Love 30.
Greek again.
Yeah, it's interesting to think where the headspace is exactly with Tsitsipas. We mentioned squandering that 2 sets to love lead in the final of the French and didn't respond very well. Went down early, first round at Wimbledon to Francis Tiafoe. So all those things can be lingering at times, especially when your main goal is to try to secure your first Grand Slam title.
Love 40.
Murray the first opportunities to get the break.
Two big miss hits coming off the forehand side. Didn't quite have his timing yet.
As well, it looks as though he's getting a decent read on the serve, doesn't it? Even though he wasn't able to get that one, you could kind of feel he was leaning that way.
The start of the match is always so important, but I think even more so on this occasion. If Andy can really get his teeth into the match and really get that belief, he can make this a very difficult afternoon for Tsitsipas.
Shy of 5 hours as we see the British Davis Cup captain Leon Smith. He's been travelling around a fair bit this year as Leon. He's head of men's tennis as well back in Great Britain. He's got a couple of roles.
Please take your seats quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Players are ready.
The other
Thank
British
you.
players have developed as well in recent times. The likes of Norrie and Evans and Jack Draper as well. Made that run to the quarters of Queens this year. A good vibe amongst the British guys back in Roehampton, the national.
Please take your seats.
I think one thing the pandemic has perhaps kind of filtered through to the guys. They've all been able to hit together a lot, and you sense that what he's done as well as kind of pulled the socks up of the rest.
Yeah, watching from a distance, it's been really nice to see kind of the resurgence of British tennis underneath Andy Murray, right? The Daniil Evans.
Any seat for now, please. Thank you.
Not forget Kyle Edmund, who's been out with a knee injury, but I'm sure when he returns, he'll be back in the conversation as well.
Yeah, Edmund due to come back in the autumn, the 2 knee surgeries.
There for Murray.
15 left.
An average second serve, but Tsitsipas hit the return, hit it to the center of the court. So it's not going to do that much damage, especially off the backhand wing. So that's where I think it frees Murray up to go for some bigger first serve, try to get more free points.
The issue he had on serve was because of the hit, he was actually ended up
30 left
to his right as well to compensate due to obviously the change in physicality to his body. And he said one thing that he's been able to kind of just build confidence in is actually getting the ball toss a little more kind of straight as opposed to further to his right. He ended up kind of slicing the serve a little bit, and that obviously took a bit of pace off the serve.
$40 left.
In place today, though.
Wow. Could not have started better on serve so far in this match. Plenty of pop. Good look at it here. Full extension. Both feet off the ground. Great serve there from Murray.
(40-15).
To the backhand as and when he can. Consolidates the break.
Murray leads 3-1 first set.
To views. Plenty more besides.
And really good news here if you're
15 love.
If you're trying to zone in on his movement, the extra hustle there just to get one extra ball back on that overhead just shows you that he's fully locked in here and the body's feeling very well.
Movement impressive. A little unlucky in the end.
30 love.
In talking about the Tsitsipas backhand and the slice, it's also, he's got a very nice one-handed backhand, but he needs space, right? It's not one that confronts the bounce. Kind of needs some space. So as he develops that, being able to step in and redirect will also only get better.
An excellent clay court season, and he's the first to admit that he feels more comfortable on the clay of all the surfaces. Quite a kind of high take back, doesn't he, Knowlesy? You sense it on the clay. It's a little more beneficial for him. The ball obviously comes up a little higher and
30-15.
Slightly better fit on the dirt.
Yeah, it's a long looping backhand, right, which gives you a little bit more time on the clay. But you mentioned players saying that the courts are a little bit faster here. You're going to have to maybe adapt a little bit, shorten the swing, use the slice maybe a little more effectively. Is what Andy Murray says. Look at the coverage here from Murray, and then look at the finish. And this is why you put in the hard yards. This is why you get the extra surgery when you're a great champion. Terrific memories right here on this court. This is where he raised his first Grand Slam trophy back in 2012.
Remember that year, it was only just a few weeks after his Olympic gold in London. It was all happening at that time. Absolutely proud.
this crowd's responding. And he's doing exactly the right thing here.
40.
The only shot he could play coming up to this drop shot was shovel it back deep, but most importantly, get it to the backhand of Tsitsipas. He's not as proficient off that wing as he is on the forehand. As we mentioned, Murray is very good at the net.
Chance here for a double break. Tsitsipas fluffs his lines when coming forward.
Murray leads 4-1 first set.
Lead in the
That's 15 love.
Murray has won 7 of 8 first serve points, 88% so far. You mentioned terrific start on serve from Murray.
Love.
A really nervy start from the world number 3. This has not looked comfortable out here at all so far.
Love.
There's a look at the Tsitsipas camp. Patrick Mouratoglou on the right and his father Apostolos on the left. Definitely some looks of concern coming from the player's box.
By a whole lot. We're just having a
14-15
with the chair on by. Record here at the US Open using the electronic line review.
Game Murray.
Just a game away now.
Murray leads 5-1 first set.
The other thing to keep an eye on is Murray basically almost after every successful point is pumping his fist. I mean, he's got a terrific focus right now in this match. He's got the crowd fully engaged. And you get the feeling that Murray's belief is growing with each game.
Out. Some very dark days for Andy over the last couple of years. Resilience with which he's called upon has kept him out here, kept him going.
Left.
That's so many knocks. The guy who, as we said, is just so passionate about the sport and passionate about what he does. I mean, plenty who would have hung their rackets up by now.
I think it really amplifies how important it is to most great champions to go out on their own terms. You know, it was a couple of years ago at the Australian Open when Murray had that emotional press conference where we didn't think we'd ever see him back out on the court playing at this level. But he's worked tirelessly to try to get himself back to this level.
Game. Tsitsipas. New balls, please.
After some 35
Murray
minutes
leads
out
5
here.
games to 2, second set.
Murray
Ball change.
enjoying himself.
Gentlemen, would you please take your seats? Please. Thank you.
New balls here. Murray looking to serve out this opening set. Second as well.
15 left.
Gets to it.
Yeah, that's the key. The depth. Sometimes the Andy Murray second serve can fall short, and players are able to step in and be aggressive.
Left.
See 11 unforced errors from Tsitsipas. A number of those coming from the forehand side, which is normally his stronger wing.
Let's first serve.
Still not a bad miss there from Murray. Up 30 love in the game. Gotta just keep points short. Find the right times, the right moments to take a couple extra chances.
Tsitsipas has played in the opening 40 minutes out here, and one that will give him some encouragement.
30 all.
And a nice job here from Tsitsipas finishing at the net. Good technique on that backhand volley.
4 of 9 in the forecourt. Tsitsipas so far. One-two punch. And again, it's all about taking time away from the Greek.
Yeah, really smart serve there. 40, went out wide with the 30. Second. But most importantly was the court positioning. He moved up in the court, redirected with the forehand up the line, taking away time from Tsitsipas.
Yes.
Felt there was a slight opportunity there for Murray, realizing that Tsitsipas was retreating more and more with each backhand, just to mix in a little drop shot there off the forehand wing.
Advantage.
Well, that's a big serve there, and it's very difficult for a one-hander to time that, to try to hit over it. You mentioned maybe not as comfortable with the slice and the blocking of the return, something we see Roger Federer do so well, able to just control the racket face and block it back when there's excessive pace, as there was in that occasion, 130 miles an hour from the racket of Andy Murray.
Tsitsipas.
Yes.
If you had any questions about the athleticism of Tsitsipas, I hope they've all been answered after watching that point. Brilliant shot.
He still had a bit of work to do, didn't he, as well? Look how well he weighted that.
This is absolutely fantastic stuff from the 2012
Advantage, Murray.
Playing brilliant tennis. He's shown off some tremendous skill in the forecourt. Maybe none more than that pickup. And how about the reaction?
He has been so animated, isn't he? Right from the very first game. Set point once more.
Game. First set Murray. 6-2.
Who his desire is very much still there. He's got the world number 3 in a spot of trouble.
Cincinnati.
Tsitsipas got in response here in this second. I think he was probably caught a little by surprise. I would have thought Nosy by the level from the sustained level from the other side of the net.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, we've all been watching Murray over the summer and over the last 2 years.
40 left.
I have to say it's probably the best set of tennis he's produced. Not only with his game, but also emotionally. Normally you get a mix of negative, positive energy. It was all positive there from Andy Murray in that first set.
Game, Tsitsipas. First game, second set.
Start though to the second from the world number 3. It's my big family. His brother Petros has been playing a fair bit this year. He's got another younger brother who also is playing a lot. His sister competes as well. They very much. The younger siblings also trying to make their way into the professional game.
Very tight-knit family. Once again, there's his father. Pastos looks a little concerned. But the good news for Tsitsipas is he's got tremendous belief in himself. We've seen that since he emerged on tour.
Actually a very big fan of Pete Sampras.
Love it.
Pastos used to watch tons of Pete Sampras matches. He very much looked up to him, and they tried to use Pete as a role model.
Good role model to try to aspire to. The great Pete Sampras, families of Greek origin as well. Pete growing up in California.
Recently had a big birthday, I think, did Pete, didn't he?
He did.
See him around a whole lot these days.
Your best chance is if you're on a golf course. Another second serve point that Murray's able to win. Just going to be curious to see what type of adjustment Tsitsipas can make on the second serve to try to make some inroads.
Just the pace with
30-15.
He's delivering off the serve that's so impressive at the moment. Set up by perhaps his best return of the match so far.
30 all.
first time he's really been able to handle the pace and drive that one-handed backhand to get himself in an offensive position.
Let's first serve.
It's really key that Andy's been able to hit those big first serves on the deuce court, because, as you mentioned, at times he has a tendency to throw that ball toss a little bit to his right, which kind of tips your pitch to the returner that you're going to slice it out wide. But because he's been able to pop a few up the tee, just keeping Tsitsipas off balance a little bit on the return.
Game, Murray. One game all.
Once again, positive affirmation up towards his player's box. Completely focused.
I think, speaking to a lot of British players, as I've been able to do over the last sort of 12 months, the one thing they'll tell you about Andy as well, physically, from a muscular perspective, he's arguably in the best shape he's ever been. I mean, he's worked so hard, obviously, with all the rehab and everything, that actually he is a physical specimen like perhaps he's never been before. And that's saying something, given where he was at. It's not to say, obviously, the stamina is as good as it once was, or purely from a muscular perspective, he's put a lot of work in.
30 left.
Those hard yards he put in with Ivan Lendl. Incredible year 2016 when he ended up as the world #1 ranking. Remarkable finish in London, wasn't there? Where he beat Djokovic in the winner-takes-all match.
Yeah, that entire fall season, he just kept winning and kept winning. There was no margin for error if he wanted to secure that #1 ranking. Achieved so much throughout his incredible career. Back-to-back gold medals in singles.
Yeah, something that had never been done before in tennis.
Let's first serve. Game, Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas leads 2 games to 1, second set. First set, Murray.
Maintaining, remember, the defending champion. With injury, sadly, this year, his season is over.
Terrific shot there. What I'm seeing so far, you know, Murray's got kind of
15
that
left.
hard slice second serve right now. So it's not that short kicking serve that we see sometimes from him where you're able to step in. Since Tsitsipas has that the one-handed backhand, because it's a hard slice second, he's not able to run around and necessarily find the space so that he can hit a forehand on the return. So very important for Murray to keep that up throughout this match.
There is a feeling that, I don't know if you feel this as well, that because Tsitsipas likes to kind of camp in the backhand corner, Nolsey, and hit forehands from there, the line is open, isn't it? And Murray's used it well so far.
We've seen Tsitsipas run around the second and get that forehand, and you can see the difference. Then he can dictate play with the forehand and be offensive and move forward.
Defensive lob, Murray opting to let it bounce, and
15-30.
Tsitsipas a bit of time.
And this was a difficult shot. This ball's up shoulder height, and he's able to change the direction, full extension. Terrific shot up the line there from Tsitsipas.
The Greek has got himself a couple of break points.
15-40.
First break points indeed of this match after exactly an hour of play.
Mr. Tsitsipas is requesting a replay of the call on the right far sideline.
Tsitsipas asking to see the electronic line call.
It's not going to change. Tsitsipas defending.
Just smart tennis from Murray. Started with the first forehand as he was moving back. Knowing that Tsitsipas likes to get to that backhand corner, he went to the forehand side and then approached to the backhand once again, and Tsitsipas unable to come up with anything off that backhand wing on that passing shot attempt.
those sorts of exchanges unfolding, won't he? The backhand
Advantage.
cross-court rally exchange has been
Murray.
only one winner so far.
And that's what he has to do, right? He kind of just amped the pace up a little bit on that last backhand. Let's face it, backhand to backhand, Murray wins that rally most of the time.
Yes.
One way to get out of the pack.
Yeah, it's a great shot there from Tsitsipas, but if you're Murray, you're okay with this. This is a low percentage shot from the center of the court, redirecting up the line. You force your opponent to come up with something special. And that's what Tsitsipas did on that occasion.
Advantage.
Sitting on
Murray.
the one serve, wasn't he? It wasn't one of Andy's better ones either.
Had to be. That toss was so far to the right. Even if he went up the tee, it would have carved back in to the body of Tsitsipas. Missed opportunity there for Tsitsipas.
Stronger reaction. Another game down.
2 games all. Second set.
Game that was 9 minutes in duration. One thing that has changed in Andy's career is become very data-driven, as we remind you to head to usopen.org, of course. Keep up to date with all the scores. So many good matches taking place at the moment. Become very data-driven as Andy.
15
the
left.
Numbers in terms of the speeds of the ground strokes, his movement really has got into that side, the analytics side that is creeping into tennis more and more, it seems. Not for everyone though, Mark, is it? Some players more instinctive, they kind of feel like they should be more instinctive.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think there's been a general trend from all players, right, with the ability to get much more data, information, look at matches, get serve speeds.
40 left.
You know, with Hawkeye, all the great new innovations, you can kind of get a feel for guys' patterns, and especially on pressure points, which can be so important.
Yeah.
Right, please. Tsitsipas.
12 for 12 on serve in set number 2.
Tsitsipas leads 3 games to 2. Second set, first set, Murray.
A little bit of momentum here.
15 left.
The serve percentage has just dropped a touch in this set, hovering above the 50% mark.
But I like that second serve there. Kind of the hard slider on the second just doesn't allow Tsitsipas that extra time to possibly run around and hit a forehand and get a more offensive position.
Left. Left. First serve.
You compare Andy's career with Djokovic because, of course, they grew up together. They played juniors together. They're a very similar age. Their games are so similar. Yet, if you look at them right now, obviously with Djokovic at 20 majors, Andy with 3, I suspect there would have been a fair few people at the early part of their career who would have been surprised of that there was such a gap.
Yeah, it's quite impressive when you really analyze the numbers of Novak Djokovic, when you think that, you know, Nadal and Federer were dominating tennis. They got off to such a quick start, but over the last, what's it been now, 7, 8 years, the winning clip for Novak Djokovic is just out of this world. He's just been able to rack up so many major titles.
15 up.
Going for the Grand Slam this year, it would be a remarkable story if he could achieve it. Hasn't been done since 1969.
You know, and assessing Novak's chances, looking at this court speed,
30 left.
To say very good, because it's a part of Novak's game over the last 12 to 18 months that has really improved, is the serve, getting a lot of free points. We know his prowess on the return. So if he's able to get free points on the serve, very, very difficult to beat.
That's second serve.
He certainly enjoyed the quick conditions in Australia this year, didn't he? Because the court surface down there, to all intents and purposes, was pretty quick as well. To be fair, he's enjoyed any surface in Australia, isn't he?
14.
Yeah, he's made that place his second home. And that's really where the confidence started, right? He started down under. He started really applying himself, and then before you knew it, he became comfortable at all the Grand Slam venues.
Let's first serve. Game, Tsitsipas.
Still yet to lose a point on serve in this second set.
Tsitsipas leads 4-3.
Maintains his lead.
Second set, first set, Murray.
He's come a long way in this event.
$15 left. 30 love.
In the back of his mind at all, whether he's a little wary of Murray's movement as well off that approach.
Yeah, it almost looked like a slight bit of hesitation on that forehand, right? As you mentioned, just, you know, as a player, all of a sudden something comes in your mind where I don't want to go with that shot. Just kind of pulled up on that last forehand.
Forty love. Forty. 15. Balls, please.
Tsitsipas, as he has done really right from the very start of this contest.
Game's all, second set.
Held back.
Yeah, nice 1-2 punch there from Murray. The wide serve and just a couple extra MPHs on that forehand to go through the court. Well done from Murray here so far. He felt like Tsitsipas has raised his level a little bit here in the second set, but Murray's been able to stay level. And now can he use his experience to figure out a way to pull ahead here at this second set and maybe get up 2 sets to love on the number 3 seed.
Murray just talking to himself. Asking himself for a big push here.
That was the right play. You can see the frustration there from Murray because he knows that was the right play. He moved north and south very well in that rally. Got inside the baseline for that final backhand. Just misfired in the net.
Such a good length, hasn't he, in that rally? But Tsitsipas absolutely nothing
15
really to work
hold.
with.
Well, Murray's been very disciplined because when you really look at it, Tsitsipas cannot hurt him that much going cross-court with the backhand. It's just a nice, easy ball when you think about how good the two-handed backhand is from Murray. It's only when Tsitsipas takes a lot of risk and tries to go up the line can he really penetrate and make a difference.
Point the first that Tsitsipas has lost on serve in this set. With plenty of time. How much good work did he do though to keep himself in the rally?
These fans are behind Andy Murray, appreciating the effort that he's putting forward here.
15,
Great defense
30.
kept him in the point, but an abysmal drop shot here from Tsitsipas. This thing almost gets to the service line. Plenty of time for Murray. Delivers it with pace. This is where experience pays huge dividends. Murray trying to use everything.
And Tsitsipas is in trouble.
15-40. Thank you. Please.
Smart forehand there from Tsitsipas on that forehand approach. Just took a little bit off. It went more kind of the inside-out short forehand.
40.
Because if he would have gone deep, Murray would have been able to get 2 hands on it. Instead, he had to go to 1 because it was up in the court.
So here's the first of the break points.
Yes.
It's very difficult to read the Tsitsipas serve, but in my estimation, and watching him over the last couple of years, I think that's his favorite serve in the ad court. Not sure Murray could have done much with it, but didn't seem like he picked that one.
About the ball toss for Murray, of course, Tsitsipas made a minor change, didn't he, a couple of years ago? He lowered his ball toss a little bit just to try and make it a little bit more consistent. He does have the tendency sometimes to lose balance off it, but
still doesn't look like the most natural service motion. It's very effective.
Classic example there where the speed of the court just catches him out, isn't it? On a clay court there, he's another foot back. He's got time to line the forehand up, but he just doesn't have the time on that shot.
Advantage, Tsitsipas.
Tsitsipas. A very key game.
Tsitsipas leads 5 games to 4. Second set.
Tsitsipas holds.
First set, Murray.
If you're Tsitsipas, you've got to have a feeling of where Murray serves on specific points. My estimation, level or behind in that deuce court. A little bit more apt to go wide. When he's ahead in the scoreline, he'll pop the first up the tee.
Love 15.
And I kind of have the same feeling in this ad court as well. When behind, he tends to go more safe, go tee, a little bit more carve on it, and go flat. When he's ahead in the scoreline out wide, see what he does here. Got to look for a forehand here if you're Tsitsipas.
To be the turning point in the rally.
Yeah, he didn't look for the forehand on the return, but what he did do was he stepped up inside the baseline, finally drove a backhand through the center of the court, and boy, did he hit an impressive forehand up the line towards the latter part of that rally. First real pressure on the Murray serve.
Serve is eluding him.
Freebie there for Murray.
15-13.
That was exactly the point that Tsitsipas wanted to play. Got himself in position for the forehand. This is one of those, if you had a budget, how much would you pay for a first serve right now if you're Andy Murray? He paid the right price there.
30 all.
He's earned it. Certainly not out here for the prize money anymore, that's for sure.
Tense moments. Both players starting to bark a little bit. Tsitsipas wants to get over the line here in the second set. He's felt the pressure from the former world #1. Once again, he's trying to get in the position there, but because it's a hard slider second, as you keep mentioning, it just takes away that fraction of time where he's not comfortable. If it's more of a kick, then you have a little bit more time and you can hit over the ball a lot easier. When it's a hard slice, it stays a little bit low. You're not getting the racket head underneath that forehand.
Time on the ball has been a real luxury for him, isn't it? Out here so far. He's not been afforded that. sense that Murray is feeling it physically somewhat, but he's able to hold on and get us to 5s.
5 games all, second set.
Murray having to dig deep there. Only got in one first serve in that service game. Somehow able to manage a hold of serve. Missed opportunity there for Tsitsipas. Think back to that love 30 point where he had the forehand, tried to go inside out short, found the net.
Remember the battle that Andy Murray had here 12 months ago. A 5-setter that was 5 hours in his round 1 win over Nishioka. Contest that was.
15-0.
Murray just has to be a little bit careful here. He's starting to get really emotionally involved. We talked about how positive he was for the first set and a half. Now a little bit too much negative energy. He doesn't have the reserves that he used to have, right? So he's got to manage that correctly just in case this goes a little bit longer than he would like.
I guess a part of that, Mosey, has to be from the fact that,
13-0.
as we said, he knows this is a match he can stay on top of. He needs to stay on top of his man here.
Yep. He's going to yell at those gentlemen right there in that player box. They're going to have to absorb.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It's a good job Jamie Delgado's as laid back as he is.
That's a terrific play there from Andy Murray. That's the sort of play that I've always felt throughout his entire career, even though he's had one of the most successful careers ever. If he could have done that a little bit more, it would have made it a little bit easier on his body. He's so well equipped at the net.
Yeah, this is his former coach, as Mark was saying, Danny Valverdue. Been working with Stan Wawrinka as Danny, isn't he? Who's still on the sidelines, is Wawrinka.
It's interesting.
40-15.
Got the double fault there. That second serve was on the back of the line, and that's why it pays dividends sometimes, that drive and charge. You just put a little extra pressure on your opponent's second serve. Don't want to use it all the time, but if you use it at the right time, it can be very effective. Double of the afternoon for the Greek.
Tsitsipas.
But it didn't have depth, crucially.
Tsitsipas leads 6-5 second set. First set, Murray.
So 5-6.
Please take a seat. Thank you very much. Love 15. That's
a good serve there from Murray. Going against the grain a little bit, out wide, even though he's down love 15.
second
30,
serve, but it is a slightly
15.
worrying statistic, isn't it, for Tsitsipas, that Murray's almost at 70% Nosey of points won on the second serve.
Yeah, there's no question. He hasn't been able to make any inroads on the second serve, really. It was only on the last Andy Murray service game, really the first time that Tsitsipas had troubled Murray at all. Definitely an area that he has to improve on throughout this match for it to go in his direction.
14-15.
You can see the value of the slice. That shot right there, low to the back inside, forces Murray to go to the slice, which then allows Tsitsipas to get in position for a forehand. And look at the mighty blow that he can deliver. Already 3 in the world, but still certain areas still have some improvement.
Just his 5th forehand winner of the match. Just tipped over the hour mark.
6 games all. Second set. Tiebreak.
I mean, you definitely have to be very careful when you look at Andy Murray, but he sure does look like this second set is of the utmost importance. But he does have a tendency to lure you in at times, but definitely looks a little bit more physically worn than Tsitsipas at this stage of the match. Smart shot there from Murray. Rather than drive the backhand, realizing that Tsitsipas was retreating, he just kind of bunted it short, because then that would make Tsitsipas have to hit up. That was the right play here from Murray.
1-0.
A little short on execution with that volley right there. Maybe if he had a little bit more belief to punch it deep cross court. Tried to go short, but the movement of Tsitsipas is quite spectacular. Covers a lot of ground.
Please. Two, 1, Murray.
Not coming in, he's lost a couple of relatively big tie breaks, isn't he? And Cincinnati, the first set to her catch, that kind of set the tone for the rest of it. And in Winston-Salem last week, TFO got the better in an opening set tiebreak.
Thank you.
Was a missed opportunity. That was a short second serve to the forehand. It didn't have good location either. It was right in the wheelhouse for Andy Murray. I think even he was surprised. Ended up resulting in the error.
Three, two, Tsitsipas.
Yeah, I just don't understand why he's not challenging himself to get in position with his feet to hit a forehand on that second serve return. You just can't take a backhand there. He's not been effective. He mishit that backhand return, short, nothing on it. You got to take chances. You're down a set here. You cannot go down 2 sets to love. You got to have belief in your ability. You know, if Murray hits the second serve ace up the tee, tip your cap to him. Put the ball in his court.
Those are tie-break records. You can see Tsitsipas played a fair few this year. Of course, he lost his last one in Cincinnati, that final set breaker, defeat to Zverev.
Figure out a way to make your opponent volley there. Just snatched at that backhand passing shot once again.
Let's reserve.
This is vintage Andy Murray. He can do pretty much whatever he wants with this backhand. Look how he controls that with the left hand. Gets the ball up with plenty of spin inside the line. Terrific shot there from Murray.
5-3 Murray.
Murray's defense of the net was remarkable.
Look at how wet that court is. That's all sweat coming from Andy Murray. It's the second time he's gone to that type of volley, trying to drop it short behind Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas almost got caught there.
5-4, Murray.
Murray hadn't slipped. He would have liked his chances to be in position now for that backhand volley.
Slipped on his own
perspiration,
didn't he?
Yep.
Thank you.
Here's Tsitsipas. You have to figure out a way to get your feet moving, get in position to hit a forehand on the second serve return. Up 2 sets to love.
Time and time again, he's been pinned in the backhand corner. He's been pressurized. Murray on the brink here of a 2-set lead.
Murray
to himself into his player's box that his shoes are completely soaked. He's saying I need more shoes. I'd be surprised if he didn't bring out 2 or 3 pairs. Most players in these hot, humid conditions will bring a couple of pairs in their bag onto the court.
And you can see he's got the ankle braces as well. That's only going to exacerbate the heat and everything else that's going on inside there. Absolutely brilliant from Stefanos Tsitsipas. How cool was he?
Wow, those overheads were not easy, ladies and gentlemen. A big stadium like this, with the crowd trying to judge, get the perfect spacing on the overhead is not easy. And he handled this like a champ. First one there, and then still had to regroup, moving backwards. Oh, terrific stuff there from Tsitsipas. Great signs there from Andy Murray. Just getting back that one extra ball. Let's see what he's going to do with the shoe here. Let's see just how many liquids these players are taking in.
Today has been a played its part, and so often does here in New York, especially at this time of year. It was particularly rough last week in the qualifying, wasn't it?
Yeah, extremely hot and humid.
7-6. Tsitsipas.
And this is where we talk about collecting data. You know, if you're Tsitsipas here, you got to be thinking, I'm going to give him the serve out wide. And there's tendencies when he's behind in the scores to go T in the ad side. So maybe you just lean on that serve a little bit here. He was trying to take a page out of the Andy Murray book by just dipping that first passing shot cross court. Rather than going for a clean passing shot winner, trying to get it low, but just caught the top of the tape.
Tsitsipas.
Would you believe it? Double fault coming from Andy Murray. At 7-all in the second set tiebreak.
Just his third of the match. The match that has just ticked into its third hour.
Second set, Tsitsipas stepping into 6-1 all.
A tremendous effort from Stefanos Tsitsipas, who squares things up here in New York. It's a set apiece in this round one match. Went onwards. It's going to be a very big effort for Andy Murray to win this over the long haul. A spare pair of shoes. Certainly at the change of ends there weren't any forthcoming, were there?
No, he was putting the air vent into the shoes, trying to dry them out, which, as we mentioned earlier, that's very surprising, especially somebody with the experience of Andy Murray. Sure, he's probably sent somebody from his team to possibly get another pair, but as you can see, he's wearing Under Armour. Maybe on site. Well, usually it's not. You can find some Nike stores around that sell some shoes, but I'm sure if there's an Under Armour outlet on site, so it could be tricky.
So there's his own brand of clothing now, the MC line.
good news is it's quite humid, but they've been playing in the shade for most of this match, so not getting the direct heat.
Reiterating as well that Tsitsipas is yet to break. 2 hours and 12 minutes this match has been going.
Yeah, there's only been one service game of Murray that Tsitsipas has had any opportunities, really.
Stages of this third set you sense vital for Murray to keep the spirits up.
Murray, of course, has been in almost every position there is in a tennis match. So although he'll be disappointed and frustrated he wasn't able to secure that second set, should be able to regroup mentally here.
Enjoyed coming to New York, hasn't he? He's always enjoyed playing in the States. Enjoyed the atmosphere created here.
Yeah, he's talked about how he always felt the fans really appreciated his style of play, the effort that he brings to the court.
I think he's changing his shoes. Not quite sure why. This wasn't done. He went off court anyway.
So it's the youngster that's only been on tour for a couple of years that has a couple extra pairs of shoes, but not the great Andy Murray. Surprising.
A little bit of hot water this summer. Tsitsipas for the length of the time he was off court. Toronto in particular. A couple of extensive bathroom breaks, which you're only allowed officially in a best of 3 set match 1 at the end of a set.
In the best of 5 sets you're allowed 2.
That the shoelace broke. That was the problem.
Interesting that it was a shoelace, because we saw him kind of stomping his shoes at the back of the court.
30-15.
7 career titles to his name already. Just like one of the World Tour finals at the end of 2019 was such an impressive week. A little less impressive.
30-all.
Forehand that he would certainly have backed himself to make. And again, maybe he's feeling the pressure of the movement from Murray that has been magnificent today. Only chance to break.
Murray leads 2 games to love. Third set.
That's off to a fast start in the third.
Awfully surprising. You would have thought that Tsitsipas would have really felt a sense of new life after securing that second set, and plays a very sloppy game on serve there. 2 relatively routine forehands. Just the start that Andy Murray needed here in this third set. You can hear in the background, that's Andy Murray pumping himself up. A couple of come-ons.
enough.
We've had a 6 first serves in this third set already.
Enough.
Really nice start for Murray here in this third set. He's really played a terrific match so far. Obviously disappointed to not be up 2 sets to love, but you also have to credit Tsitsipas. He was very resilient towards the latter stages of that second set.
Murray leads 3 games to love. Third set. Once it all.
Nicely at the start of the third, but still in his late 30s, proving his durability. sense that
50 left.
in the next 4 or 5 years, Mark, the majors are going to be spread around a whole lot more?
Oh, definitely. It's going to be interesting, obviously, as we get to the end of the Great Three. The Big Three. The future's very bright for the game. So many terrific stars, you know, in my estimation. It's not going out on a limb, but it's not just the level of tennis that the Big Three brought to the court, but it's also the professionalism, right? These guys are so dedicated, and the fact that they were all together kind of kept pushing them to new heights. I think it's going to be rare to ever see that type of combination again. Andy Murray and Stan Wawrinka, 3 majors each. They maybe deserve maybe 1 or 2 bonus ones since they played in the era of Federer, Nadal, Djokovic.
Game Tsitsipas. New balls, please.
Anyone will ever come close to those type of heights again?
No.
Murray leads 3 games to 1.
Something completely out of the ordinary. I mean, not just at majors level either, Mark. You look at Masters 1000. I mean, the guys have got 30, 33, 34 each. I mean, that is just mind-blowing when you look back at the career, and it's mind-blowing in terms of just how they've been able to keep the motivation even at that level. And I don't say that with any disrespect, but obviously from here on in, you sense it's all about the majors. But when you look back at the greats, I think Leighton Hewitt won 2 Masters 1000s. And a guy was a world #1, one of the greatest players of all time. And yet here we are talking about 30 plus. This man's a Masters 1000 winner, as we remind you to head to usopen.org if you haven't already. Plenty to see and do on there. Check out the latest scores. Merchandise to be had here as well.
Love 15.
You know, best of 5 matches are so interesting, right? There's a little bit of a lull here, even from the crowd and the players, and this is where it falls upon the player to make sure you maintain your level. Tsitsipas a little bit of a drop to start the 3rd here, where he has to maintain his level, his intensity. Much more difficult to do from start to finish in a best of 5 set match. Understanding how Tsitsipas is not rolling around and hitting forehands on the 2nd serve in the ad side. You know, Murray doesn't have necessarily the best 2nd serve, right? It can start to get very predictable, and he continues to do the same thing and not get in position to hit forehands and get more offensive. Murray's 2nd serve to the outside. It's not a huge kicker, right? It's not like one that's going to go off the court like a Dominic Thiem. So, you know, it's not like you have to cover that much ground to get in position to hit a forehand. But he's been unwilling to take the risk. And to me, it just highlights the beauty of tennis. You know, I continue to be a proponent of no on-court coaching, just for that very reason. because it's up to the player to figure it out. And if you don't figure it out, chances are probably walk off second best. It almost felt like he just didn't take that one extra step to get in position to drive the backhand, so that's why he went to the drop shot. Even if it went over, Tsitsipas was going to be there in time. Just the third breakpoint opportunity of the match for Tsitsipas. Yet to break serve. That's a beautiful serve there from Murray. Trying to fire himself up here. He's sensing a bit of a drop in his intensity. Barking at his player box, brings some intensity, some energy.
Jamie Delgado continuing to check his phone, having tried to get the message one senses to get the shoes down here.
Advantage, Tsitsipas.
It's no coincidence that you see more intent when he's hitting that forehand. Right? That's when he has the confidence to move forward, cut the court off a little bit. Interesting. He ran around and got in position, but I'm not sure he did enough with that first return, right? It was kind of a little bit of safety, and Murray was able to get enough behind his backhand to take away time from Tsitsipas, but still better signs there for Tsitsipas, trying to do something different to manage a break of serve. To take matters into his own hands a little more often.
Advantage, Tsitsipas.
Seems to be on the front foot a little bit more, and just a very intelligent shot here from the Greek star, realizing that Murray was so deep in the court. Nice change of pace there with the drop shot.
Saw that quite a bit over the course of the clay court swing, didn't we? That's a big full but most importantly, jammed him into the body, 120 miles an hour. Very tough one.
Let's go. Come on now.
To deal with when you're trying to drive it. It's one of those where Tsitsipas needs to just block it back, use the pace. 22 points played on serve already for Murray in this set.
Advantage, Tsitsipas.
Full credit to Andy Murray coming up with the first serve, but also changing the location. Seeing two aces up the tee, but we also saw a monster serve at the body. So keeping Tsitsipas off balance. Entertainment they've had on Arthur Ashe on the opening day. The preceding singles match ended in a final set tiebreak. A long way to go here. With these matches.
Murray.
Also still Naomi Osaka to come in the night session, followed by world number 2, Daniil Medvedev. Great to be back in New York.
Was touching the net.
Yes. A little bit of luck on a few occasions from Tsitsipas. Murray trying to do everything he can to get through this game, almost up to 12 minutes. Really, was 3.5 hours. The match with Oscar Otter in the second round at Wimbledon was just shy of 4 hours. So, yes, of course, on a grass court, it's going to be perhaps a little shorter. forges further ahead.
Murray leads
4-1 in the third.
4-1, third set, wants it all.
He won. Anyone really expected Murray to produce this level out here today? Did they, Nolza? Did you? Do you think he was capable of
I'd like to
keeping
tell you
it going?
That I did think so, but I actually did not. This has been very impressive from Andy Murray. What I'd seen so far this summer, I just thought there was a little bit of doubt still, but he has been terrific out here today. Consider everything. The key thing was saying that his body felt good. It was just a matter of getting his game to the level that he wanted to. So the fact that he's back in a surrounding that he truly enjoys, and the pressure is off. And as you just mentioned, not many think that he had a chance here today. But he is in a very good position right now.
40 left.
I know you saw this coming.
If only. Actually, I'll tell you a quick story. I was at Wimbledon in May, and I actually bumped into Jamie Delgado at the club, and just talking to him then in terms of how far Murray has come from the middle of May to where he is right now.
Tsitsipas.
Pretty low, I tell you.
Murray leads 4-2, third set.
In a position where they thought it wasn't really going anywhere. They didn't feel like it wasn't moving well back then. He was hitting the ball well, but it just wasn't. He didn't feel like the movement was there, and that was only 2.5 months ago. So, testament to his will and his desire and his work to keep it going and keep it moving in the right direction. And he finds himself in this position.
Left. I
think it was well, Nolza. I don't know if you agree, but I think Andy's a sort of person that purely ball striking, he still believes.
Oh yeah.
Ball striking wise, he can live with anyone.
Yeah, he hits the ball as clean as anyone. But as you mentioned, the important thing is the movement, something that's been a staple of his career. The defensive skills that he has. It's been altered somewhat because of the injuries.
30 left.
So you have to kind of reinvent yourself in a sort of way. Use a little bit more of your variety. See, he served extremely well today, popping that first serve. He's hit a couple of returns and come in behind him. A little drive and charge.
You have
to give credit to his team as well. We've referenced Jamie Delgado's trainers, Davis captain, for them to still continue the belief, right, as you mentioned?
Yep. Matt Little, who's not here, strength and conditioning coach for many years.
40-15.
No one more important than his wife Kim and their 4 kids to allow him the time and the effort that it takes to rehab, get yourself back to that level.
40-30.
That's what you find with a lot of athletes when they get towards the end of their careers. You know, their lives have changed. You get married or have kids. You just don't have the same amount of time to dedicate to get to that level. So it's important to have a great support staff.
5 games to 2, third set, once it all.
Murray, a game away from a 2 sets to 1 lead. I'll stay right where I am, folks.
Well, we've gotten some great performances so far here today on opening day of this year's US Open. Another terrific match here on Arthur Ashe Stadium.
That's second serve. Enough. Left.
Quite as physical this third set, has it? Which this is understandable. That long service game for Murray, but sort of rally length has dropped a touch.
Yeah, I've actually been a little bit surprised at the reaction of Tsitsipas in this third set. Murray's basically been the emotional leader throughout from the start, pumping himself up. And
40 left.
We probably expected that. It's been maybe a little bit more positive than we expected, which is great for the Murray camp. But Tsitsipas, I thought, after securing that second set, he would have really elevated not just his game, but his emotions. He's been fairly subdued. It's always a chess game, right? When you're talking about the changing of the guard, Tsitsipas has been kind of viewed as the next generation, and he refutes that. He said, "I'm here now. I'm here to win majors." But still, there's some respect to the old guard, which is Andy Murray, 3-time major champion. But I feel this is a moment where Tsitsipas needs to get more emotional. Say, "Yes, indeed, I am here."
Tsitsipas on this occasion doubling over.
40-30.
Well, as he used the two-hander up the line at times today, just to keep Tsitsipas honest, keep him moving to his right, therefore exposing a part of the court that he's not quite as comfortable defending.
Game, Tsitsipas. Murray leads 5 games to 3, third set.
Since the Tour Finals back in 2016, incredibly. Match we referenced earlier on. It was the victory over Djokovic in the final that year.
15 left.
He's been the one that's maintained the level.
There, had the passing shot lined up that line.
15 on.
We've really seen the value again. Nausea of the backhand slice defensively, and kind of the contrast between how one player has it to use in terms of a situation like that, and another player at the moment doesn't have that to call on.
Yeah, you're so right there, Tsitsipas. That's one area of his game that he's going to have to improve on. He's going to continue to add to the arsenal.
Let's preserve.
It's very rare that you see a one-hander that doesn't have a really efficient slice, because there's so many situations you can create off that slice.
Serve points 1 in this set for Murray, lower than the previous 2. It's 5 from 11. Sense is fueling the frustration.
Played a perfect
15,
point, really.
30.
Covered the ball up the line, just missed that forehand volley. Tsitsipas moves around the court so beautifully. Forces you to hit that one extra shot. Here the crowd trying to get behind Andy Murray here.
Thank you.
The finish line here in this third and
Thank you.
not final set, third set. Excuse me. Huge set for Murray.
First serves in this game.
Tsitsipas deserves. There's a really short second serve in the middle of the box, and he chooses to hit a backhand to the center of the court short. And Murray, doing the right thing, is aggressive and pops the forehand. There's no reason why Tsitsipas doesn't run around there at 15-30. All the pressure is on Murray. He's not going to go for a big second. And Tsitsipas has been unwilling to take risks on the return.
Serve and volley for good measure.
That would make your old friend Tim
40,
very proud
30.
there, Nick. Great serve and volley. It was not an easy first volley. Hit with a lot of pace down low, but Murray came up with a beauty.
Tsitsipas. Murray on the cusp of a 2-1 lead.
To defy the odds.
Murray leads 2-1.
Andy Murray has the 3 seed on the ropes.
10th event of the year already.
Love it, team.
Look once again at the Tsitsipas camp. Patrick Mouratoglou in there, and also his father, Apostolos.
Physiotherapist. I think he was a Songa for a long time.
15 on.
Jerome.
Yep, exactly.
Just to the right is Jerome. There he is. Went down to Australia with Tsitsipas this year.
13-15.
There's no question that Tsitsipas, one of the hardest workers we've seen. A true professional. Will do absolutely everything he can to get the best out of himself.
Is that there's still a bit to work on, isn't
40-15.
Despite everything he's achieved so far.
Yeah, that's what's incredible. As great a career as he's had, we mentioned 48 match wins this year alone on tour. There's still little parts of his game that can improve tremendously. So, sky's the limit. And no doubt, this man will secure a couple of Grand Slam titles before he's done.
Is he going to win more or less?
40-13.
When all is said and done, when his career's over, do you think?
That's a really good question, Nick. You know, I just think we're not going to have that dominance that we've had, as you mentioned earlier as well. So I'm going to say maybe a fraction more.
Mm-hmm.
Let's first serve.
Because there's still so much upside. He plays well on all surfaces, prefers the clay.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't really found his form on the grass quite as yet, but when you look at his frame, his size, the ability to improve the volleys in the forecourt, I could see him being good on grass as well.
Game Tsitsipas. First game, 4th set.
And the young man believes in himself, which is so important. What do you think? A great question.
20, what is he, 23 now, Tsitsipas?
Yep.
I think he might win more. Yeah, I think he might win more. In many ways, you have to reflect that, you know, we talked about it earlier on, but Murray's 3 majors. So he's been one of the greatest players, but you can probably look back and think, how many more might I have won? I'm sure he doesn't think that, but at the same time,
Yeah, I mean, if you use straight math, right, he's probably going to play for another 12, 13 years, Tsitsipas. So, you know, if he stays healthy, that's, you know, injured for a couple, probably 45, 50 majors. And if there's not that dominance that we've seen of the big three over the last 15, 18 years, then chances are he'll probably get more than 3. I wonder if that question was asked about 20 years ago watching Roger Federer.
Probably. And there were probably a few people that made a fool out of themselves answering it as well.
I'd like to ask our producer, Harold Hecht, if he can produce some audio on that. Let's see who we can get out here. It said Federer's going to win 2 or 3. I do think we were all in agreement that
30
multiple French Opens for sure. There's going to be a vast number.
The 40 left is a little concerning. Tsitsipas here. Didn't want to put weight on it.
Good call for that trainer, and that's a huge question mark because his physicality, as we mentioned, athletic specimen, moves around the court so well. But if he's hindered in the slightest, especially in that foot, he could really give a nice boost to Andy Murray across the net.
Also, with the Olympics squeezed in this summer, it has been a fairly tough spell, hasn't it, for the players in terms of travel as well. A gifted Tsitsipas will root back in this game.
Yeah, this forehand just looked a little tired, right? Legs kind of came out from underneath him. Spun that left shoulder open a little quicker than he would have liked. Smart tennis there. Tsitsipas. He's got Murray on a string, moving him side to side, but also pushing him further back in the court, and then mixes in a nice drop shot there off the forehand side.
game.
Well, it's taken 3 hours and 16 minutes.
Tsitsipas leads 2 games to love. Fourth set.
Finally broken, but again, Mark, rather hobbling his way into the corner.
Yeah, he pulled up a little bit there. Nice backhand return, got good depth on it. Let's see if we can see anything here. Yeah, you can see he just pulls up a little bit there. So something to keep an eye on. It really highlights how unfortunate it is that Murray dropped serve there, because if there is a bit of an issue there for Tsitsipas, you don't want to give him any hope.
Lester and Mark Knowles here with you on Alpha Rash. It's been a dramatic opening afternoon.
15 left.
Murray, has he just called for the trainer? I think he may have done.
Left.
It's all happening out here. In case you wanted to drama, we've had high-level tennis. We knew this was going to be a physical match. We mentioned the hot, humid conditions today. Looks like Murray reaching for his foot as well.
Kim Hellworth on the phone to HQ.
30-15.
These matches become so physical. These guys have taken movement to another level. Their flexibility, so many factors. These guys are just supreme athletes. Tsitsipas, not an easy volley once again. Murray dipped that passing shot, got it down low. He's going to open up a little dialogue with Jamie Delgado there on the right. Leon Smith, British Davis Cup captain, in the left of your screen. The box is only down to 2 now. It started at 4.
40-30.
Just having a quick word again with Nico Hellworth in the chair. Single-hander, just you could sense the pressure he was under. There's Jerry Armstrong. He's the Wimbledon referee these days, is Jerry. He's been on the tour for longer than he wishes to remember, I'd have thought.
Yeah, loads of experience Jerry's bringing to the court.
Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas leads 3 games to love, 4th set. Murray leads by 2 sets to 1.
Number 3. Crash. It's getting a little dark. You could sense by looking at the scoreboard just how illuminating that had become. Serving here at love 3.
second serve return once again from Tsitsipas. I mean, it just
15
not through the court. It's just short, sitting up. Something that Tsitsipas is going to have to continue to improve and work on as he continues to progress. And Nick, if you're Murray here, do you possibly give your best in this game, and if things don't go well, look to see if you can kind of monitor your energy levels for the fifth?
I think he's also got to be a little aware of Tsitsipas's issue with his foot, doesn't he? Because that does seem to be a little in and out.
15 and 30.
Interesting to see what happens if he loses this game, that's for sure. And there is much interest taken in the remainder of this set.
Bolts.
Instead of going cross-court, going up the line on the backhand. One of the slower second serves we've seen from Murray so far in this match. Just short, not much behind it, 83 miles an hour.
Game Tsitsipas. New bolts, please.
And this match looks increasingly
Tsitsipas leads 4 games to love, 4th set.
To be heading to a 5th and final set.
And it's interesting, Nick, because you mentioned at the start, did Murray feel the pressure that maybe had to win in 3 sets? At least 4. And we can see how important that second set for Tsitsipas was, that he was able to secure that to get this to a stage of the match where it's really becoming a physical battle. Not just with energy reserves, but also with physical health. Both players struggling a little bit.
There's just been a slight drop-off in the pace of the Murray serve, doesn't it, as well? Quite as much on the second either.
Almost 3.5 hours in.
Just a reminder, head to usopen.org. Plenty to see there, lots of updates in terms of matches being played right now. You can come across everything that's been going on. The winner of this match will take on either Mannarino or Herbert. They were in a 5th set as well.
Nice passing shot there from Tsitsipas, but he continues to come up a little bit lame. You can that is a full limp there from Tsitsipas. So if you're Murray, you've got to be aware that maybe use these last 2 games to dictate play. Don't do much running yourself, but try to run your opponent. Try to wear him down a little bit going into the 5th. Take a page out of the book of the great Andre Agassi. Stay in the center of the court and just move him. Maybe even throw in a drop shot.
30 left.
If you think your opponent is injured, try everything. See which movements affect them the most. Is it side-to-side movement? Is it north and south?
That's it. First serve. That's it. Second serve.
Backhand of the match there for Tsitsipas. Absolutely unloads on this backhand. Great shoulder rotation, contact out in front. Beautifully measured.
Game, Tsitsipas.
Really is a case of survival.
Tsitsipas leads 5 games to love, fourth set. Murray leads by 2 sets to 1.
Tsitsipas looked pretty good with his movement, so clearly it's just certain movements where he feels a little bit of pain. Maybe he's got a fair bit of adrenaline going now with this 5-love lead here in the fourth, realizing that Murray's level has dipped as this match is worn on.
Noticed that his brother Jamie has actually just made his way into the stadium as well. He's taken his seat.
Did he have a ticket? The movement seems to be back for Tsitsipas.
He's come from 2 sets down to beat Pierre Hugerbert, so Mannarino it is that awaits the winner of this one. Scott has come in, he's been proficient. 1 of 29 points converted on in the forecourt today.
to save it.
Tsitsipas leads 5 games to 1, fourth set.
But a nice effort there just to get one on the board here in this fourth set. And most importantly, if he were not able to break here, he gets to serve first in the fifth set. Generally allows you to be positive on the scoreboard, apply a little bit more pressure.
Love 15.
To work with.
Love 30. Please take your seats at the back of the court, ladies and gentlemen.
Couple of fans coming in to get some of this great action.
Love 40.
Probably not. He did such an excellent job of getting that one extra ball back in play, but also making it difficult on the net rusher, either difficult overhead or one where they have to let the ball bounce and the point resets. Such a great scrambler is Andy Murray.
Scrambling his way back in this set as well.
15-40. Tsitsipas leads 5 games to 2, fourth set. Murray leads by 2 sets to 1.
In singles, but still, it was that glimmer of hope. And Murray has dedicated himself to getting back to this level. And this is why he's done all the hard yards. This is why he's endured the pain. This is why he's done the surgeries. Just to be in these moments on the biggest courts against the best players in the world.
The documentary that was released in the UK was a good one. If you haven't seen it, it really does give you an insight into the painstaking work that he did off court. Ambitious from Tsitsipas' point of view.
15-all.
That Andy Murray documentary was called Resurfaced, the same name in England. I actually watched it. I thought it was fascinating. You love all those documentaries that gives you some insight into a player's mind, the entire process that it takes to be at that level. We get to see the finished product when they're out here in their element shining, but it's all the hard work that they do behind the scenes that produces this level of play. Great for the younger audience to see documentaries like that.
Just got enough spin to bring it down.
30-all.
Tsitsipas.
13-14.
Been able to handle the pace and redirect with intent.
Set point then for the world number 3.
Deuce.
It's the shot right there, isn't it? That again we have highlighted that you feel just could do with a little bit of tinkling.
And if you look at it, he's got the wrong grip. He still has the topspin grip when he goes for the slice, so it floats a little bit.
Advantage. Murray.
That was an excellent backhand volley. This one here lunging a little bit, but he punches it deep, then gets in position for the next one, then drops it short.
Tsitsipas leads 5 games to 3. Fourth set.
Tsitsipas now with just one more chance to serve it out.
Now the pressure shifts back to Tsitsipas after having a commanding lead in this first set. 5-love, 5-3, only the single break. Great stuff from Andy Murray to fight back here in this fourth set. And now there's no doubt on the intent of Murray in this fourth set. He wants to break here. He wants to bring it all the way back.
To execute, but he hit it beautifully.
30 left.
Yeah, that was an absolutely ridiculous shot. If you really know how hard it is to take a single-handed backhand out of the air and dip it cross court, that was a tremendous shot there from Tsitsipas.
That's 15. 40-15.
Just didn't quite have it. Tsitsipas has played an excellent game. 2 more set points.
Tsitsipas once again, this time, I'm not sure if he's flexing for his foot or his knee there.
It was a match that had many people excited by its prospect and has not disappointed.
Fourth set, Tsitsipas. 6 games to 3. 2 sets all.
It could well be the case. Time will tell. Murray will get this 5th set underway. Judging by that reaction, I think you've got your answer.
15 left.
But that was directed to the other side of the court. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Fasten those seatbelts. We have got an absolute beauty unfolding here on day 1 of the US Open.
Jamie Murray, Alan McDonald on the left, Jamie's coach. Often you see Jamie out courtside watching his brother.
Nick, you so quickly picked up, because you have such a great vantage point here a couple of games ago when Jamie snuck into the stadium. He's not in the players' box. I'm not even sure if Andy knows he's watching, because he's sitting behind Andy's chair. And as you can see, it's a rather random location.
Jamie been without his regular partner, Bruno Suarez, for a little while after Bruno had an appendicitis.
And
he may have just located his brother there, because he looked up in his direction with a big fist bump.
It's the 28th fifth setter of Murray's career. His record is a good one, as you would expect. 25 and 12 Murray over the years. His last, of course, was here in round one exactly 12 months ago.
No question that Tsitsipas has played with a little bit more aggression here over the last set and a half. Once again, on that occasion, moving forward.
He's got to fend off an early break point.
Maybe we're seeing why Jamie Murray didn't come and sit down in the player box. He knows his brother probably better than anyone else. Got to fend off this break point opportunity here.
2 from 9 today, Tsitsipas on the break points.
First game, final set.
Quality return from the man from Athens, who has set his stall out early in this fifth set. Murray continuing his complaints.
Uttered the word cheating at the end there, so just doesn't feel that it was fair play with the extended break, but we have to commend Tsitsipas in that game. He played an excellent game, terrific return there on break point. Here's a look at the player box of Andy Murray. That was a big first game, especially for Tsitsipas. He senses that this crowd is behind Andy Murray. Gets himself up an early break here in the fifth set.
He's actually 3-0 in 5-set matches this year as the Greek. As ever, Kokkinakis, Nadal, you'll famously remember in Australia this year, and Zverev at Roland Garros.
love.
I mentioned earlier
15.
that Andy Murray said he loves this New York crowd, and you can see why. They have a true appreciation for his style of play, his never-say-die attitude. And they're trying to will him through this fifth and final set. How deep can Murray dig here?
Whatever happens, whatever the outcome tonight, for all those that thought he was done, for him personally, this is going to be a major source of encouragement. He knows how much longer he has, but
30-15.
Just a little frustration there from Murray, but you have to commend Tsitsipas. He's raised his level here to start the fifth. He's come out with a purpose, really hitting the ball cleanly. No signs of any trouble with his foot.
It's more of the same.
40-15.
It's Murray who's under pressure from the back of the court.
Game, Tsitsipas.
Very clean start.
Tsitsipas leads 2 games to love. Final set.
He may have taken his time at the end of the fourth, but whatever he did.
What, for 20 minutes every time? Oh, how long do you think it was? And the toilet's right there. What's he doing? What's he doing in there? It's never once taken me that long to go to the toilet, ever. When it's right there. Huh? What? He can do what? Oh, that's what he's doing. Okay, yeah.
Jerry Armstrong.
He knows Andy well. That won't be the last he hears from Andy. He may want to change seats. But in fairness to Andy, he does have a point. Very extended break between the fourth and fifth set taken by Tsitsipas.
What do you do about it then, Mark, in the big picture of there is an element of that being unfair? You put a time limit on it, and what can you do to ensure that
Yeah, I mean,
doesn't move into the kind of realms of being unfair?
I guess it's a hard thing to police, right? But you heard what Andy Murray was saying there, that the restroom was close by. Also, obviously, without getting into too much detail, but you know, if they're within the rules and doing the right things, I guess time can be taken. You covered the Cincinnati event. I know there was some talk, not sure how true it was, about the phone going in as well, and some text messages maybe transferring, you know, today's day and age with technology. But I remember when I was a player, well, towards the later stages of my career, when you had a phone devices, you weren't allowed to take that in. And usually the person that accompanies you to the restroom makes sure you're not doing anything outside the lines, outside the parameters.
30-15.
My first year on tour, I actually was about to serve for the match in singles at Wimbledon, and my opponent took a break, and he took a real break. He probably came back 18 minutes later, and by then I had thought through everything. I had gotten so nervous, so tight. Luckily, I was somehow able to still serve the match out, but it was clearly a tactic, but not much I could have done about it.
About this is to try and raise his game.
40-15.
Well, he's tried to use it as fuel early here. The only problem is Tsitsipas has raised his level, so Andy's going to have to steady himself and just try to keep this deficit to a minimum.
$40-30. Tsitsipas leads 2-1 final set.
His campaign is up, and no player has won more matches on the men's tour this year than the Greek. 48 in all. If it is to be number 49 here in New York, it will have been well earned. Tsitsipas serving with a break.
Love 15.
Just didn't execute.
Playing attacking tennis there. He's going to be close to possibly going long as well. But floating slice backhand there from Murray, but good aggressive play from Tsitsipas. Just misfired with that forehand. Swinging volley not so easy to execute at times.
15-all. $13-15.
Feature of Tsitsipas's game as well as that when things tend to be going well, the pace of play increases for him. He doesn't hang around.
Yeah, plays very quickly when things are going well. He was already up to the line, but took a step back once he realized Murray wasn't ready for the return. Definitely plays with a purpose. Murray still pumping himself up, trying to turn this into a street fight. He's got the crowd on his side. He's got experience on his side. Just up against a very difficult opponent in world number 3, Tsitsipas.
30-40.
Levels here on Arthur Ashe. Just tick up another notch.
Thank you. The players are ready. Please. Thank you.
Tsitsipas, simply outstanding.
Yes.
Wow, the difficulty of this shot from Tsitsipas. Murray did an excellent job here of scrambling, got this slice back so low, but look how nicely measured that forehand was from Tsitsipas. And the first real reaction we've had from the Greek star.
Please. Advantage. Tsitsipas.
Yeah, and it actually looked like Murray was stepping inside that baseline, looking to drive it. But an excellent second serve out wide from Tsitsipas. Neutralized the attack.
Game Tsitsipas. New balls, please.
And there's a welcome back to tennis.
Tsitsipas leads 3-1 final set.
Yeah, especially for us, Nick. Last year being here without fans, it's just such a pleasure to see. Nearly full stadium, great atmosphere.
Those are the fans waiting to get in for the night session. A delay to it.
Say famous late night at the Open. Already a couple of minutes past 7 p.m. We're still early here in the fifth. There's plenty more drama to unfold.
If you want to head to US Open,
thank you. Thank you.
There's an abundance of things to see on there. The latest scores, merchandise, tickets. USOpen.org, the official website of the US Open.
Love 15.
Pretty impressive from Tsitsipas. He's playing his best tennis right now in this fifth set. Murray absolutely tuning those backhands hard and through the court, and Tsitsipas able to absorb the pace and still create nice spin, nice depth. Murray's got to keep it within arm's length. You just never know. Tsitsipas, we mentioned, has had a couple of hiccups last year here. 6 match points against Coric in the third round. Didn't close it out. Obviously, the big match at the French Open, up 2 sets to love. Lost to world #1 Novak Djokovic.
This really the first period in the match where Murray
30-15,
isn't it? Because right from the off, break in the third kept him ahead.
Tsitsipas leads 3 games to 2. Final set.
It's introduction of course, 32 seeds a few years ago at the majors. I think it's fair to say that a lot of the top players have been protected at times in the early rounds.
Thank you. Thank you.
This has been a real test, though. The number 3 seed here.
Love 15.
Tsitsipas is in a hole in this game.
And we are seeing
Love
the best
30
tennis of the match so far here in this 5th set. And you can hear the crowd. They're getting on Tsitsipas for any delay now, even if it's to change rackets.
Buterak is down there in the front row as well. Of course, that has a big role to play here at the US Open. He is not holding back.
15-30.
Full force there from Andy Murray.
Please.
Just long on the baseline.
30 all.
How good was the judgment from Tsitsipas?
You got to think almost out of fear.
Mr. Murray is requesting a replay of the call on the right baseline.
But it was the right decision from Tsitsipas.
Close call, we'll get another look at it. Just a few millimeters long.
Served extremely well so far in this 5th set. Tsitsipas, especially under pressure. First serve percentage is at 72% here in the 5th.
Yes.
To stay alive.
Advantage Tsitsipas.
He's been forced to defend for much of this decider.
And he's been forced to defend because of the quality coming from Tsitsipas, continuing to play at his highest level so far in this match, here in this final set.
Game Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas leads 4 games to 2, final set.
An impressive style.
Even there. take, and you guys do nothing. And go, let's talk about it after the match, but right now is when it matters.
I do sense that Murray, in many ways, sort of keeping it lingering, just to keep the fire burning, isn't it, out here?
Yeah, using it as fuel.
It's an injustice he feels that is in his mind. He just wants to kind of use it as a platform.
Thank you.
Throughout his career.
Thank you. Not up.
Well, it's been back-to-back
50 enough.
service games from Tsitsipas where Murray's had opportunities. He had a break point earlier, and then he had love 30 in the previous game. So he's making inroads. He's just not getting that ultimate success, leading to some of the frustration.
Out. 30 left.
Tsitsipas taking a very aggressive
40
position to
left.
return the first.
Game, Murray.
Returns for the premium.
Tsitsipas leads 4-3 final sets. Love. All.
Such a good job of finding the backhand, isn't he? As we see Anna Winter.
Let's second serve.
Tease him in, didn't he? Tsitsipas.
30-15.
Yeah, the first short slice was good, directed to the backhand side, but changing the direction up the line. The only problem is Tsitsipas moves so well to his right. And he got there with plenty of conviction and delivered. Just not something you see very often, a missed second serve return from the backhand side of Andy Murray.
Game, Tsitsipas.
Get another chance in that game.
Tsitsipas leads. 5 games to 3, final set.
Oh, so close. Getting over the first hurdle here.
Left.
Regardless of the outcome of this match, although it wouldn't count as a win for Andy Murray, it's definitely a win to see him play at this level and for this length of time. The only win he's looking for is a win on the scoreboard. But for the rest of us fans, great to see him back at this level.
Years ago, of course, he sat in the press room in Australia, wasn't it? Breaking down, questioning whether it was it. That ceremony down under, didn't it?
Yeah,
waving him off.
Really thought it was possibly the last we'd see of Andy Murray, but not to be denied. Heart of a champion has to go out on his own terms.
Of what we've seen tonight.
30-15.
This may be the end of the road possibly here, but surely he has to take so much again from what he has produced down here. Was an ambitious one. For once,
40-30.
Yeah, just not enough with the backhand volley either. Just got almost undecided here if he was going to drop it way too deep there. Tough. I think the drop volley was the right play. It was just poor execution. Allowed Tsitsipas plenty of time to get up to it.
Give himself one last chance to get the break. And for long, he'll stay in New York. It's 5-4.
Tsitsipas leads 5 games to 4, final set.
It's in his heart.
Yeah, he's giving the crowd the energy. Great to see this crowd respond to the great champion Andy Murray. Let's see what he can do.
Please. Thank you. Please. Left.
He's playing an outstanding 5th set, isn't he? There's still a little more to do, but he's held his nerve.
By far his best tennis of the match came here in this 5th set.
Left. Left.
4 hours and 48 minutes of intoxicating tennis here on the Arthur Ashe Stadium. Stefanos Tsitsipas with 3 match points.
Please. Set match Tsitsipas.